Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, people. Welcome to the Super Conscious Outlet. You're on the radio with your host, Roderick Jarrow, and my co-host, Kashana Quayle Jones. Today, people, we are really going in depth. First of all, let me thank each and every one of you that are listening right now, and for those of you that will call in. And if you want to give the number out to anyone, the number is 646-787-8180. Again, the number is 646-787-8180. So, as we get ready to kick this off, we got a special guest coming in. I'll tell you about that later. But right now, let me bring in my beautiful co-host, Kashana Quayle Jones.
Oh, Hete Poo family. I am so ready to talk about it tonight. This is the business. This is really taking it serious and going deeper than just what it looks.
Okay, so Sean, you want to go ahead and give the shout outs and the opening?
I sure will. I'm ready.
Okay.
First, we'd like to give a shout out to Universal Radio at Facebook.com/Universal Radio 2. Also to our brother God, Amun-Ra Darby, author of children's books. His last children's book was Swazi Baka, and his new release is Cultivated Mentality. Purchase them at AmunRaDarby.com or Amazon.com, and it's also available on ebook. Next, we have a wonderful shout-out to Blacks Be Light. You can find them on Facebook.com/BlacksBeLight1. Again, our brother Devon Allen, he has a Reach People workout and meal plan. You can reach this brother at 310-438-0154. Once again, that's 310-438-0154. Email him at dthings, D as in dog, things1236@gmail.com. Also, last but not least, check out My Sister's Keeper on Facebook.com. You can find them at Facebook.com/My Sisters, sisters spelled SISTARS, Keeper. Give thanks to all workers.
Okay, so people, check this out. Before we go any further, I must, it is a must that I mention these next two people that I'm about to mention. The first one being my brother, J. Allen Greer. This is the brother behind the Blacks Be Light page. He is a member of several groups. This is a young man who is really putting his all into the improvement of not only us as a people, but people in general. This is a real level-headed brother, and I converse with him just about daily. He is truly an amazing young man. Secondly, I must mention Zemriah Davis. Zemriah is the engineer of this show. You know what, people? This is just internet radio, and we're starting small, but only we can place the limits on how far we'll go. So I just had to mention those two names. She's also attached to My Sister's Keeper, and without them, then I wouldn't even be here being able to talk to you today. At about 5:30, we're going to have a guest come in, and this brother has authored as many as, I believe, right around 28 books, and his name is Keedy Oahu, and I will be spelling his name, and a matter of fact, let me spell it right now. Keedy is Keidi is his first name. His last name is Adawu. So it's Keedy Oahu. And this brother right here is going to touch on some of the topics we're going to talk about tonight, because we're going to go in and we're going to give you not just our definition of consciousness, but what consciousness truly means. Because a lot of people have taken consciousness into this fad now, almost like a hip-hop type of thing. And this is not what it's about, people. This is not a religion. This is something that you do daily. This is something that I mean, it ties into meditation. It ties into being aware of your spending, being aware of what you are eating. So basically, this is a constant awareness, and it's always room to grow. So there is no level that you master, and once you get there, you're done and you've accomplished it all. Because each day you live is a day to learn. So we're going to be going in deep, you know what I mean, with consciousness. And I have to repeat this. If I have to say it until you guys really get it, or until I even get it myself. But this is not a religion, people. This is not a religion by far, and this is not something that you need to be taught, actually. All you need to do is follow the long. I mean, the song said it. I mean, the brother Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, they told us years ago, wake up, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it alone. It's a collective thing. And in the next week, we will be talking about collective consciousness. But it's about you waking up and doing what you got to do, and we cannot keep doing the same things the same way, because this world that we are currently existing in is the world that we created. Whether subconsciously or consciously, you are aware of everything that goes on in your day. You are responsible. That's what I meant to say. You are responsible. And once you become aware of that, you start to think, well, listen, I want my days to be better. You know what I mean? So as long as you keep focusing and chasing material things, you will never have enough. So just, bear with this. You know, this is our second show, and we're really trying to reach people. It's not about fame. It's not about celebrity. It's not about money. It actually costs the people that I just mentioned for us to be on the show. So we're not making any money right now, but that's another thing we're going to talk about, is that how we will so quickly, talk down about what a person is doing when they're trying, but yet and still we have no contributors. We have not had anyone say, well, hey, listen, let me donate to you guys. Let me help you guys blow this thing up. Let me support you. Let me get you guys out there with this information, because this is all knowledge is. Knowledge is information. And so those who lack information remain in a form of ignorance. So on that note, people, we have some T-shirts. I mean, myself, Jay Allen, the brother Devon Allen, we I don't know if anyone's on Facebook today, but I posted a shirt, and the shirt simply says, pledge allegiance to my skin. Okay? So what we're saying is, acknowledge who you are. Acknowledge who you are. You've been taught to be an American. You've been taught to be a Christian. You've been taught to be a Muslim. You've been taught to be everything except yourself. And this is what happens. All these things we've been indoctrinated with, in our primary education, is what's led us to this point now where we are living like paupers and beggars. So we're going to touch on some topics today, why we refer to each other as gods and goddesses. But that also is a mind state, so I want people to understand this too. Just because you're black or you read a story about Kemet does not make you a god or a goddess. It's a mind state. It's a mind state, just like the whole story about Christ. That's a mind state. That's when you get to a Christ-like mind state, that's when you're connecting with your higher self, when you connect with the Creator, the spark of creation, the original energy that created us. So when you get to that level, then you have a Christ-like mentality. It's not some man walking around in a white robe and sandals with blonde hair and blue eyes, people. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I am no longer playing small. I refuse to do it because it hurts me and it hurts you more. So on that note, Kashana, you have anything you want to add to that, or anything you want to bring to the table on that topic?
Well, let me first say I completely agree with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're fine.
Okay, I completely agree with you as far as taking responsibility. That is the first true steps of consciousness and really being conscious. I think that may be the hardest part in this journey for most people, recognizing the responsibility that they play and what part they play in what's manifesting in their lives. I am not an authority figure on where you are, on what level you are. You know what level you are on. Anything that we say tonight that resonates with you, take a mental note, and hold that. And don't take it personally. Just work on whatever it is inside yourself that you need to work on to get to where you want to be. We all have a place within our spirits that we know we want to be. We all see our higher selves. We all know what he or she may be like. And we all have an idea of that. So it's up to us to take true and real steps in manifesting that person or that being that we see ourselves as. But I know, like you said earlier, Brother God, it's responsibility. That is what takes, that has to be the first and foremost true step of being conscious. You know when you're conscious is when things, good or bad, when they show up, you say, I'm responsible for that. So that's my take on it, Brother God.
Okay. Well, you know what? I appreciate your feedback, and I have to say I'm in complete agreement with you. And right now, you know what, Kashana? We have our first caller with the last four of 6571. Actually, her name is Tammy Lee. So can we go into her caller, 6571?
Yes. Hey, can you hear me, Roderick? This is Tammy Lisa Carmen. How you doing, first of all?
How are you doing,
good.
Goddess?
I'm good. How are you?
I just wanted to call and, congratulate you. As on Facebook, you already know that I agree with a lot of the things that you post because that is actually my lifestyle. And I just want to welcome you to the new show. Now you a host on Blog Talk as well, and that's great. And shows like that are needed, and that's why I just called to show my support.
Wow, Tammy. I mean,
and you also know that I have some plugs, so I can help you, and I will help you put that word out. I will definitely love doing that, actually. And maybe on our next show, we may even have you to come and speak because that stuff is needed, and that's the lifestyle I live and I preach. So thank you for that. What's her name? Koshana? Koshana? Yeah, thank you.
Yes, got it.
Wow, Tammy. First of all, let me just tell you that I'm so humbled by your words and your energy is so strong. And I would actually like to have you come on this show one Saturday.
Okay.
I know I don't know if you guys know or not. I don't even know if it's okay for me to mention this on air, but I think it is, so I'm going to go with it. I really feel that it is. My co-host is right now in the. She's pregnant. She's pregnant. So she's not going to be. Yeah, the last
Roderick,
stage.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm actually at my second job, so I really didn't plan on being on there for very long. I want to support you guys, and I may even call back, and I'm going to let you go ahead and go back to your show. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. You're great. I really love your posts. I enjoy reading them. But like I said, I'm kind of at my second job. So
thank you so much, Tammy. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much.
Very welcome. I may call back in later, okay? And keep that in mind. I'll come to your show. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Okay. Listen, we're gonna go right into our next caller. We have the Goddess Michaela on the phone, so we're gonna go right into this next caller. So go ahead, bring her in. Goddess Michaela.
Hi, this is Goddess Michelle Renee. How are you?
Michelle.
Hi, Goddess. Hi, Mama Goddess.
Oh, hello, baby girl. Thank you very much. I wanted to call and give you my support. This is a wonderful transition and elevation of spiritual awareness, even to the point of understanding or comprehending that the voice and the sound and frequency resonates deeply into the earth when you're using these radio waves. And that was something that was brought to my attention, I would say, about 6 years ago. My Queen Mother actually trained me in broadcasting, and I had no clue that I would become proficient in that area because it was not something that I had aspired to do. And she let me know. She says the frequency is important. She says it doesn't matter how many times you get on a video, it's the voice and the words that you were speaking that actually transcends and reaches to the listener at the heart chakra level, at the heart. And so this is very, very important. So I want to thank God King Roderick for embarking on this journey and including my daughter, Goddess Quayle Koshana. And she is an amazing woman. And she embarked on creating, finding her family. And her family, she had no clue where her family was going to come from, but the universe and the ancestors always know where it's going to come from, because they know that that's the path that you agreed, right, that you agreed to accept. And so I'm just very glad because in this, I posted this morning in one of the family rooms. I posted that I was so grateful as the names of the different family members had poured off my lips, and the vibration was so beautiful. And so God King Roderick just brought up something I just heard when I walked into the room. He just said, there's a reason why we say God and Goddess and King and Queen. And some people might think, oh, you're elevating yourself. And actually has nothing to do with elevation other than you are elevating.
Right.
And you can comprehend that. It has nothing to do with that, with elevating, but that you are elevating. And so it is not about you being above somebody. It's the words, the letters actually form a tonation vibration that causes your DNA to remember its place, so that it can create the bridge or the link in the DNA strand. There is a genetic, a physical reaction to the use of words or the voice. However, even interestingly enough, Dr. Valentine actually spoke that in our English language, because we have been stripped of our ancestral language, there's no way that we can truly comprehend our deepest ancestral roots, if you will, if you're using the English language. So it's by tones that you're hearing that you're restored to the value. And that's part of the awakening, that you're restored to remember. It's by those tones. So when you hear God King, when you hear Goddess, you feel that. And it sometimes it's difficult for people. Yeah. If somebody calls you a goddess, you're like, okay, wait a minute. No. Don't call me a goddess. And you're like, why? Because I'm not a, it's like. Yeah, you do get that reaction. Mhm. Yeah, you do. And you sit there and you just say, oh, no, I'm not, I'm not up on a pedestal. Oh, it's because someone told you it was a pedestal. And let me pedestal was.
Go ahead. Allow me to elaborate on that topic since you brought it up. And let me tell you what my meditation and my ancestral DNA has reminded me of. And one thing is that when we say, you say, well, how is everybody a god and how is everybody a queen? Who's ruling over who? And here's the thing. You're ruling over yourself. You mean? You come to be a ruler over you. So now you're not conforming to the way of the world. You understand? So this is what I want to say. When you elevate it to a queen, now a queen has a conduct. A queen has a set of morals that are exemplary, okay, as well as a king. So now when we start to do this, we're going to offend, because no one has ever just got along with the king. No one has ever just, that queen is all right. Everything that queen do is right. So you have to understand that when you come into being who you are, you can't allow other people to change you, and you can't change for other people. You have to maintain self in this whole principle of seeking higher self. You have to have courage. It takes creativity to be you, because you got to remember, we've been so bombarded. I mean, years and hundreds upon hundreds of years taught that we're less than, and we should succumb to this because we're not this and we're not that. When you go back to your ancestral DNA and your ancestral memory, the world was knowledgeless without us. We gave the world knowledge. We gave the world language. We gave the world everything that it exists. And it's in you. It's in your DNA when you recognize it as such. Now, everyone will not recognize it as such. This is not something you can put in them. My brother Devon Allen always has a statement or a quote, and I talk to this brother almost daily as well. And this God warrior tells me, he says, you know what? A lot of these cats out here, man, they just perpetrating. They just rubbed up against it. See, it's not in them. It's just on them. And so right now, the top of the show, this is what we're going to go to. We're going to go into depth. Are you really conscious? I'm not talking about your conscious because, like I said, you read some history books and now you have the knowledge. But the thing is, are you living it? Are you living it daily? Are you speaking it? And that's all I wanted to add. And I agree with you. And please forgive me for, even when I talk to you on the phone, I'm very articulate, and I just always chop up your name, and I apologize that. I'm
Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle, but I'm just going to call you Queen Goddess. That's Queen Goddess, Mother Goddess, Supreme Goddess. That's it. Because I always mess Michelle up.
Oh, my God. It's all right. Yes, Mama, go ahead, baby.
I wanted to just touch on that topic that you just brought up a little bit. I noticed in the beginning of my transition, I started calling brothers and sisters brother and sister. When I see someone, I say, hey, sis, and you should see how their entire being transforms just from being called sister. Instead of me saying, hey, girl, or, treating them or talking to them as if they were a stranger, I use a term that that's endearing to them. And it does raise their frequency. Also, it raises mine. When I go out in public, I don't have to know you, but I know you're my sister. I know you're my brother. And we used to do that. I don't know if you guys know, because y'all know better than me, that's how our people used to talk to each other. And now these new names that have come up, that we won't even mention, have taken the place of those names. So to return back to those true titles, and like you said, it activates that DNA, that memory. Something in them is reactivated, and they're like, I am your sister. I am a goddess. I am a supreme being. Because we're floating on a ball in the middle of nowhere. How much more godly can you become? It's just up to you to fully transcend into it. It's available. It's all that you have ever been, but you have to transcend into it and become it. So I just want to say that on what you just said. I notice that difference when I speak to just random people and I call them sister. It's just automatically we bond.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. And that's how. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Because this is yours.
No.
This is yours.
Right. No, this is ours. This is ours, and that's the biggest thing I want to emphasize. This is ours. I have nothing without you all. I don't even exist without you acknowledging me. This is the whole thing. Is what I'm trying to tell people. No one else can affect you unless you invite them into your life, into your life experience. Everything we do by concentrated thought. Okay, so. People say, oh, well, you made me do this. No one made you do anything. No one is responsible for you acting any certain way. It's all upon you. Now, you've been taught to believe that because somebody said this, and now you're so systematically believing that it's true, so then you fall into it. Just like the names that she mentioned. I mean, people are paid millions of dollars to call us those names all over the airwaves, and now our younger generation are suffering from it because this is how we refer to each other now. We use words that are derogatory. We use words in reverse. Mm-hmm. So everybody, at one point, everybody, myself included, oh, what's up, dog? What's up, dog? So I had a little trip away, and I really got a kind of chance to get into myself. And so what happened is once I did that, I started studying and I learned. I said, oh, so they teaching us in reverse. So when I came home, I started calling all my brothers. God. You know what I mean? I started seeing all the stuff that they said was evil that we do was not evil, and the stuff that we claim to be good was evil. Like if you go into a church or something, you get tied to religion. Now you don't like this person simply because he has different beliefs. Is that good? So you want to tell me that as an organized religion, well, I'm a Christian, so I can't talk to you because everybody be a Jehovah's Witness. Oh, they doing this, they doing that. But if you're all loving, how can you criticize someone else for their beliefs? So the whole thing I start to see that was simply contradictory. But just I just like I said, I thank you for calling in. We really appreciate you, and you know this to be true beyond definition. I mean, there's no way I could express it enough. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was just on what you were thinking and what you were saying, that the word God is, people use that as an elevated source, and it should be. However, people shouldn't get hung up on being called a God, or saying that that's too much to be called, because really God is an organization, and as you brought out, you are caring for yourself, and so therefore you are the God of yourself, and
I love
it is
that.
the organization of yourself. That's all God is an organization. Now, if you say source, that's different. And all
Right.
I will say is I'm an extension of God's self from source. Now that's different. I didn't say I was source. I said I'm the extension of God's self of source.
Oh,
That's
this is so deep, and we probably would spend the whole show. And I want to have you on as a guest or a host, because we're going to go into that too later. But just look at it like this. Look at it as a mass of intelligence. And all of us are these particles of intelligence. So when you say source, you're right. We are a spark from the original source that created everything. Mountains, oceans, trees, seeds, animals, plant life, every kind of life you can imagine, we are connected to that same source. We are sparks from that fire, put it like that.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for allowing me to share my verbal support and energetic energy support for my beautiful daughter, Kweli Koshana, and God King Roderick Jarrow. And I will
so
allow
much.
and myself to just sit back and just enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you very much for allowing me to share.
I love you,
right
Mama.
now, listen to this right now, because right now we got the brother Keedy Oahu coming on right now. So pay attention, people. Listen, this brother is, he's proven himself. The man is an author, and we're going to bring him in right now. Queen Goddess, we thank you so much for calling, and, call us back or whatever. We will be talking to you soon. I know I definitely will be.
Love you, Mama.
Okay, so we're going to bring in Keedy right now.
I want to say greetings to you, my brother Rod. I believe Koshana on there. What a joy it is to be in this conversation today.
Oh, wow.
How are you, Brother God?
How am I? We black and we shine. We shine like the noonday sun.
I say black magnificent.
Yes. Keedy, let me ask you a few questions. Let's go right into it, because I know your time is valuable, and I will never waste a minute of it. So let's get right into some topics about, are we really conscious? Are we really conscious when we're not aware of how we're spending our money, when we're not aware of the things that we're saying to each other, when we criticize each other and put each other down and call each other derogatory names? Are we really conscious? So I need your feedback, and what are some of the things we can do to correct some of our social ills as a culture? Because you enlightened me today in our conversation earlier, because like you said, culture is bigger than community. And that really resonated, And so I want you to speak on that for me, please. Just go ahead and touch on that. And any insight you can offer is greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. This word consciousness is unfortunately a rather ambiguous term. It could mean really, literally a different meaning for every one of us, which is maybe not the worst thing. We all have our own individual mission, our own reason for being born. In the ancient times, they called it the greatest good. What are we here to do in this life? Am I here to be a critic? Am I here to be a cynical person? Am I here to start arguments and debates that really don't produce any long-term outcome? Or am I here to do the greatest good, to have the most babies smile when I walk in the room because they see all the other adults responding that this is a person who brings good into the environment that they are? So when it comes to this word consciousness, maybe we can just begin with some things that we all have in common, that we all can work towards that better our lives, such as Am I conscious about the food and the nutrition that I would bring into my body if I were to compare my own body temple to a Mercedes-Benz? Mercedes-Benz, one of the finest machines that one can get insofar as an automobile. And if you treat the Mercedes-Benz the way the manufacturer's specs say to treat it, the Mercedes-Benz will give you high performance and longevity. So am I conscious if I misuse my body temple, if I give it things that maybe please part of my psychology but are not good for the body's organs, for the brain, for the liver, etc.? Consciousness can be the way that we empower people with our consumer patterns. Growing up, we would think that our consumer patterns empowered the very same community, the very same neighborhood in which we were living, that those families who might live down our block, we could shop with them, do business with them, strengthen their business, help their family, and help ourselves in the process. In many ways, we have become so unconscious as consumers. Now, behind this trend toward unconscious consumerism, some of us doing our research can go back about 75 or more years, and we can see some mind control research taking place to actually create the attitude amongst shoppers and consumers that they would buy irrationally against their own real self-interest because that was making profits for others. So our consciousness is unfortunately being managed and directed many times from people who have ulterior motives that conflict with our own.
Exactly. So let me ask you, Katie, and before I do, excuse me, Coach Chana, is there anything that you want to ask the brother?
I want you to go just on what you just left off on. That was a deep statement right there. Our conscience is being managed by those who have ulterior motives. Could you just elaborate just a little bit more on that subject right there, because that is a key point to understanding what's happening.
Yeah, that is a very key point. Over the course of the last few decades, I guess since about 1993, I've written a series of 28 books. I've had 3 come out so far this year. I'm going to go back to a book that I originally published in 1997. The book entitled Missing Assets, Cultural, Psychological, and Biological Origins of Infertility. Now, when we consider the way that male-female relationships have degraded, when we consider the number of children born outside of the institution of marriage, when we consider high abortion rates, we consider a lot of different patterns of lifestyle, one group says, well, everyone has free will. Everyone has the ability to make the choices they want to make with their life. In actuality, that's true. But as a researcher, I have come across a whole different idea and understanding about this. And I'm going to share one paragraph, if you don't mind, from this book. And it will explain, Sister Kashana, exactly how very powerful forces working behind the scenes create a program so complex and so sophisticated that they capture nearly every one of us in their scheme. This comes from my book, Missing Assets. And this quote is from Frank Notestein, who was Undersecretary of State, Population Planning Committee in the Nixon White House. And he said, in other words, for population control to succeed, a great deal more must be done than to merely establish family planning centers and to provide surreptitious funding for local advocacy campaigns. An entire spectrum of variables affecting the desire to have children must be influenced, from basic economics and government programs to family relations, personal expectations, lifestyle, cultural tradition, concepts of land sharing and private ownership, wealth production systems, ethical standards, and even religious beliefs. Taboos must be breached. The bonds that unite family and community must be undermined, and sufficient disruption must occur to literally disorient the targeted communities and make them vulnerable to the imposition of external cultural forces.
Wow.
Wow.
If they didn't write it down, and I have quotes from people like Margaret Sanger and Robert McNamara and so many others, Richard Nixon, we've got him saying some of the most outrageous things. If they didn't write it down, we wouldn't necessarily take them as seriously as we take them. These are very powerful people.
Yeah, that's another thing I want you to, if you could just touch on us for a couple minutes. I know you're probably winding down with your time. That's limited, but I would ask you to stay as long as you can, and at any point you have to leave, Keely, just let us know, and then we're free to let you go, brother. We're so pleased to have you here right now that we just want to take these few moments that we have with you and absorb as much as we can from you. So I have a question. I was always told that there's power in spoken word, and that power multiplies when it's written. What are your thoughts on that?
Very good question. And it's a very powerful thematic action, or a theme, I should say, upon which to base one's life actions. Yes, the word is truth. In the beginning was the word. So literally, at the beginning of virtually everything we do as individuals or as collectives begins the word. So when we understand that, we combine it and we utilize that wherever this powerful tool can be utilized. One of the beautiful things that has sprung up really over the whole course of civilization, but we see since the rise of rap, hip-hop, the spoken word culture, and this new resurgence in the value of spoken word, the griot tradition, we've seen the empowerment of a lot of young, fresh, thinking minds. As a person who's, approaching 59 this year, I am always appreciative when I hear young people very careful with their words, very selective with it. But one of the things that has been done and has been deliberately done by these external imposers that I just articulated, Frank Notestein's words, is that they made it a point to separate us from the fundamentals of functional literacy. This is the first time. I'm a baby boomer. I was born into a generation of black people in this country and a generation in this country where we were wealthier, more educated, and healthier than our parents' generation. Unfortunately, these trends have been reversing themselves. Black literacy coming out of enslavement rose, and was approaching literacy rates standard across this country until 1984 during the Reagan presidency, and then hit a brick wall and now has begun to reverse itself. So our ability to maintain, project highly functional literacy into the future is directly connected with our empowerment. This is a tool I would give to all young people. I gave it to my 3 daughters at birth, very early in their age. Before they even went to school, they were speaking in 3 different languages. And now that they are young women, they are giving me back exactly what I sowed in that garden.
Yes.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Keely, let me ask you again before you get out of here. What are some of the things that we can do right now, 2014? Let's just go right here and now. What can we do? Now, people, this next question, I am not intending to offend anyone. However, I probably will. But what are some of the things that we can do as black men and black women to become more economically sound, more consciously aware of our spending? I mean, some of the things that I know personally, and I have to listen to you because, first of all, your experience here is more than me. I mean, and I look to you as a mentor, as we discussed before. Let's just put it out there, in terms where everyone can relate to us. What's a lot of the foolishness that we do? I mean, a lot of the things like, brothers spending money on Jordans, having a closet full of Jordans, and then they can walk past a man with no shoes or not a brand name shoe and make fun of them. And then, women with these hair weaves. Ooh, girl, her hair is so raggedy. What you got, European straight? What's that? Oh, that's China silky? I mean, come on. Is there something that we can do to maybe, without being so harsh, just kind of get our people to recognize that when we're changing ourselves, when we're changing our appearance, that we're not conscious, because now we're changing what was created in perfection.
We have to recognize at a certain point that our priorities have been manipulated. Yeah. Among the first things I encourage people to do is get highly literate on the subjects of behavior modification, mind control. I wrote a book in 1996. It was one of my biggest selling books called Mind Control. I highly recommend it to anyone. Once we start to understand the way that the population is being manipulated, then we can kind of draw to the side and stand our ground. Insofar as unconscious consumerism, we can turn that around to only purchase those things that can be utilized to empower yourself, to extend your life, yourself healthier, that can empower the family, empower the community. You know, spending $160, $180 on some overpriced trend clothes, trendy shoes that were actually being manufactured under slave labor wages status is the worst kind of unconscious consumerism, because that basically shows your fellow humans you don't care about them. Or you care about what is trendy. You mentioned about women in their hair weaves. In 2009, that amounted to about $9 billion, and of course inflation has probably taken that even higher, even though the recession will have some impact. This is not to say that women don't have the right to style themselves the way that they would will to do, but we have to understand that women's integrity has been assaulted by the very same corporations who are exploiting, manipulating women, abusing them, taking their time away from their natural duties as nurturers and nature's first assistant on this planet to keep things in order. And the whole family suffers when women are burdened this way. And they don't need to further be burdened by an average of $409 every year on just hair expenses. They don't need to be burdened by fashion styles that change their shoes to the point they're walking around on 4-inch heels that actually damage the lower structure of their legs and lead to back pains later in life, etc. And men have got to get their act together also. We're being manipulated quite often by sports manipulation. You know, some of the most brilliant conversations I've ever heard were on some of the most meaningless, inconsequential subjects around sports. And alcohol consumption, having to buy these fancy cars to impress who? To impress other people who are impressed by fancy cars. Not efficiency, just to impress stupid people. And if we were to castigate or critique, I should say, not castigate, but critique $9 billion spent on hair, then I have to look at my brothers and say, how much did African American men spend on alcohol and reefer in the past 12 months? With that money spent on just those subjects, we could have bought a national grocery store chain 4 times over in 1 year.
Keedy, allow me to interject. We have a caller that has a question for you. So is it okay if we bring this caller in? So caller with the last 4 of 8119, you're on. Go ahead, ask your brother Keedy your question.
Yes, how you doing, Brother Keedy? Been following you for some years. I first met you in Long Beach when you was wearing dreads. And I'm hoping that you can touch on the superfood. I'm hoping you can touch on that. And, I've been in your presence for some years, but not directly in your presence. From Shades of Africa when they was on AM to Shades of Africa on 4th Street. So, I've been around you for some time.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations for being in this conversation today. You have definitely found yourself in great company, and I want to thank the host for putting together a great program. Superfoods. When you absolutely positively have to eat the food that living gods and goddesses eat, that's superfoods. When you're looking for the perfect antidote to this epidemic called suicide, that's superfoods. Superfoods are nature's way of saying you're going to get better, and better and better and better. Superfoods is a way of saying if I have to heal my body, I'm going to heal it faster than anyone else could possibly heal, and I will not take an aspirin or any kind of pill in the process. Yeah, I've been 5 years now into living superfoods, raw foods, vegan for 20-plus years, and I'm going to encourage everybody out there to at least consider it, at least do the research, because when we look at the impact of chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease, stroke, diabetes, kidney failure, overweight, obesity, cancer is just going crazy through the roof, and now Alzheimer's and dementia are apparently going to compete with cancer as the leading cause of death. It's time that the people realize we've gone down the wrong course of malnutrition. Americans more money on health care than any other nation in history, almost twice as much as the next 7 nations spend, and yet our health is worse than 40 other nations on this planet.
You know what, Kitty? If I can add, I mean, I don't really like to personalize things, but I'm gonna just add this. Oh wow, we have another question for you, so I'm gonna have to hold my thought on that. But to the brother Dupac, is that your name?
Yeah, that's my name.
Yes, Dupac. Listen, we want to thank you for calling. We really appreciate you, and I'm gonna try to look you up on Facebook or whatever. I would like to be in contact with you as well. I mean, my whole purpose for being here is building. By no means have I mastered this consciousness. This is, like I said, it's a daily pursuit for me. Every day I add on. I'm not above or beneath anyone. I want all the listeners to understand that. So, but you know what? We thank you so much for your call, Brother Dupac. But we need to bring in.
Just look me up on Dupac Noble Bay, and I'm on Facebook, and you can hit me up, friend me, or and we can communicate that way. And to Brother Keedy, keep the struggle going. Very positive brother. Brother been at it for as long as I've been knowing him, for 15 years and better. And
that's beautiful.
Do some great work in the community, and he keeps everybody conscious. I've seen him lecture at the Shades of Africa a couple times. So keep up the good work, brother. Right now I'm out of state working. I'll be back in LA this Friday, and I'll probably stop off at Leimert Park.
Okay, well, I hope to run into you. You can always find me at livingsuperfood.com, and I look forward to getting together with you. I'll be in L.A. I'm in Las Vegas now, but working on a series of documentary films right now. We're going to take it to a whole new level. I hope you get involved with us.
Okay then. Peace, brother, and always stay conscious.
Respect.
Peace, brother. Peace. Bless up. Hey, so listen, we're going to bring in this next caller, Brother Keedy. We got a caller Dante with the last 4 of 2441. You have a question for Keedy Oahu?
Yes, sir. Peace, everyone. How you guys doing?
Peace.
Fine. How are you, brother? Peace.
I just have a question. Like, when you start meditating, for beginners, what words, or not even words, what frequencies or tones when we meditate should we be having come out our lips? Should we trying to, so we can make sure that we are saying, the right vibration or frequency?
You know what worked real well for me? Bob Marley songs. I have been a professional musician almost all my life, and for many years I toured as a reggae musician. And I sang those Bob Marley songs again and again, songs of freedom. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And so for me, those were the chanting, the songs of freedom, chanting down Babylon, that gave me this character who emerged from me, known over the years as the Conscious Rasta. I still write and publish under the name the Conscious Rasta. So ultimately, this is your journey. This is your trip. You will know your words of power because you can't wait to wake up in the day to do all the works with your power that you're going to do. What I do say to people is don't spend too much time searching only for the esoteric. The babies need to be fed. They need to be fed fresh, organic food. Our elders need to be protected and secured. We got houses to rebuild, communities to rebuild. There's a lot of work to do. And I have seen too many people my age get hung up on searching for something esoteric inside of themselves. I'm not saying you can find that same thing out here doing some sweat equity.
Understood.
Sounds like a very powerful, enjoy your journey, brother.
Brother Dante, listen. Brother Dante, I want to thank you for calling in, man. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you listening. However you came across this, we just know it's divine. So we really appreciate you. Again, I humble myself before the Brother Keedy. I'm so appreciative of you that, again, words cannot express it. We have another caller for you, though. Actually, Brother Keedy, we have another caller.
All right, I love the calls. Now, I do have a big superfood feast we're throwing today, but I had to break away to be with Universal Radio.
And listen, everyone at Universal Radio is appreciative. I mean, from all of the hosts of the other shows. I'm talking about Jay Allen and Raya, Tiffany Gibson, Martin Brown, Lamar Williams, all of us. We really appreciate you. Shauna Jones, I just have to hurry up and speak to everybody. But let's take this last caller.
Yeah.
For you, Keedy, and then we will be in contact. But right now we have a caller, the Brother Grasshopper. I think the last four is 1745.
Yep, that's me. How y'all doing? Yes, indeed. Brother Key, this Pianki Grasshopper.
One of my heroes.
Takes one to know one. You know what I mean?
I say.
And always full of knowledge, always learning. I have a question that you probably heard before. This coming week, must be honest, I'm a meat eater. This coming week, my significant other, my queen, who's the co-host, Koshana Jones, her and her daughters and my mother have put me up and put a bet, challenged me to go meatless the whole next week. The reason why I haven't gotten away from meat is because when I try to do vegetarianism, I lost a little of my muscle mass. And like I said, I'm going to win the bet next week. You know what I mean? It's already done. I'm already going to win that. I know that. So I want to know how can I maintain it? How can I still eat off the meat and still keep the mass? You know, I just would like if you could address that for me, sir.
That's a good question. Now, I do need to know one thing. Why do you want, quote-unquote, muscle mass?
Oh, I want it because, you know, just pretty much for strength, first of all. I boxed for a while. I hit that iron, you know what I mean? I do calisthenics, you know, and I like to have the muscle mass. I like the feel of muscle definition, the density, you know, the rippedness, and also the bulkiness. So pretty much.
Yeah, well, you are a warrior, and a man, when he's in his warrior phase, is going to want to have these advantages. There's a natural tendency for all males to go through a phase of their life where they are the carriers of the spear. And Brother Pianki, I know you absolutely to be a wonderful and worthy carrier of the spear. But we have to realize one thing, and this happens in traditional cultures also, that the young men, when they're in their warrior phase, they bulk up, they mass up, and they do a lot of wrestling and other type of athletic things. But we have to understand, the muscle mass is caused by inflammation. The tearing of the muscles through the extensive workout, when those muscles reform themselves, when they heal themselves, they re-heal with scar tissue, which makes the muscles larger and more massive. Unfortunately, this creates a condition known as chronic low-grade inflammation. Now, if you look at the details and do the research on this, you will find, one, professional bodybuilders, who are probably as extreme on this as anyone in this society, have an average life expectancy of 55 years old. They die even younger than doctors, who die at about 58 years old. So we have to recognize the long-term impact of living a lifestyle where you are constantly going through low-grade inflammation is very hard on the internal organs. Now, I can get real scientific, but there's a chemical that's created in the body called cytokines, when the body is undergoing certain amounts of stress. And the cytokines have to be cleared by the body through a process called free radicals. Unfortunately, the free radicals are our body's friends, but that's only in short-term solutions. But when people are living under stress all the time, what happens is these free radicals cause your body to basically rust from the inside out. So I would say do what you do. You want to stay, especially if you're eating meat, you've got to get into a highly sophisticated detoxification program. My new book out is entitled Soul Food, Do We Really Know What's in It? Jay Allen and I and Brother Nasir had a conversation on this just a couple of weeks ago, and the book followed a week later. But in the book, we talk about the ways that we have become emotionally addicted to things that hurt us. And I think that body mass building is one of the things. But if you're going to be eating meat with all the exogenous hormones and pesticides, and they are fed on genetically modified grains, even the fish nowadays, then if you're going to be doing that, you have to have a serious detoxification strategy.
Indeed. Like how often do you say detox?
I detox every 90 days. We're about a week away from the vernal equinox, the first day of spring. This time I'm going to go on a 28-day detoxification fast for about 12 years now. And used to be all my fasts were 28 days to as much as 42 days of eating no solid foods at all. It really does work. And let me tell you, brother, on one day I did a 42-day fast, and on that last day of the fast, I broke my all-time world record sit-up record of 380. That was after eating no solid foods for 42 days. Recently, I've even bettered that. Even after the accident, I'm up to 510 now. All one set, no breaks.
Wow.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
Well, I'm definitely going to
all food vegan diet.
I'm gonna take that food for thought, food for nutrition and heart. Now, I got your contact, so I would definitely be corresponding with you on that. Thanks a lot for the advice.
And I'm so proud of you, Brother Bianchi, for being the visionary that you are. One day, the older lion expects the young lion to overtake him and to become in charge of the pride. But until that old lion is ready to give it up, he's got to make it tough on that young lion.
Right.
What do you do? Simba,
Brother Grasshop, let me just let you know that I appreciate you probably more than you know. At some point in the very near future, I want to be talking to you as well. I don't want to go into my personal thing right now, but just to let you know, you can give up meat and still retain size. I've been a big dude all my life, like I've said 100 times already, 14 pounds, 9 ounces when I was born, but I am completely meat-free for going on 3 weeks now, and I dropped about 14 to 17 pounds. So,
awesome. Does it feel good? Feel energetic?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have the same strength. I mean, my job was a physical job. I mean, I used to lift weights. I've been in some places where lifting weights and working out was mandatory. Marriage does kind of change your lifestyle. You become sedentary on the weekends, but now I'm with a 9-year-old. I'm getting her more active, so I'm more active. But before I let you go, Brother Keedy, and I let you go, Brother Grasshop, just let me tell you that I appreciate you. I thank you. Keedy, I need you to give out your information again on this show on how we can contact you, how we can purchase your book, how we can support your endeavors and your causes. So if you would be so kind as to share that information with us, and after that we have to go to a break, then we're coming back with more information about Are You Really Conscious?
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak to this beautiful young audience. All the calls so far have been absolutely wonderful. And it just shows you how much your audience appreciates what you have brought. And I'm going to do the best I can to help you now move up to this TV network that we need to take us to the next phase. People can reach me at livingsuperfood.com, where we say food is nature's most perfect medicine. Let your food be your medicine. Let medicine be your food. And medicine ain't never tasted like this before. Hey, I got to go downstairs. We're having a superfood feast right now. I'm going to take some pictures of it so people will be able to come to your websites and see what we're having.
And I'm going to blast them all over Facebook and every media form that I can use. Listen, Keely, again, we humble ourselves. We thank you, brother. We appreciate your knowledge. We appreciate you for the information that you're willing to share with us. We appreciate you for simply being Keely Oahu. And when I say simply, I mean just in the purest, raw form of the true God that you are. So we thank you, brother.
I send my love to you, Sister Kashana, to you, Brother Rod. Aluta continua. The struggle continues. Victory is absolutely certain. Peace now.
Yes. Peace. Peace.
Listen, people, we're going to take a break right now. But before I do, again, callers out there, if you want to tell your friends, give them the number. It's 646-787-8180. Again, that's 646-787-8180. Call in, talk to us. I mean, like I said, in my world, there is no wrong, there is no right. It just is. So we can all build upon what we have with each other. Whatever opinion someone forms of me, hey, you're entitled to that. That's your opinion. I'm not looking to be wrong. I'm not looking to be right. One thing I am going to continue to be is right. So on that note, Koshana, you have anything to say before we go to break?
Just much love and Head Tattoo family. We'll be right back.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Okay, listen, welcome back, people. You're tuned in to the Super Conscious Outlet. We are so pleased to have you here with us. You know what I'm saying? Vibing on a topic that can be somewhat, touchy, but hey, listen, we're doing the best. No one's claiming to be an expert here. We're just trying to get a message out to our people, get everybody into an awakened mind state, and truly start to understand the concept of love, understanding that, it's kind of impossible to love someone who hates you. It's better to just remove that person from your life where they kind of become non-existent as whether to have focused hate. And again, that's my opinion. That's from my learning. And, as we come back, again, I just want to give a couple of shout outs to Universal Radio and to all the people that are working on the radio with me. Again, Jay Allen and Ryan Davis. And also check out the sister Liz Rebecca too. She's on a show on Monday nights, and she does. I think it's the Getting It In show. So check her out. Check out the people that are just everyday people that came into a collective consciousness and say, listen, what can we do? You know what I mean? So this is just one of the many things that we do. I mean, brothers that I associate myself with are truly trying to build upon what we've been left to work with. Me being in the age group that I'm in, knowing that I'm partly responsible for some of the conditions I let some of the younger generation grow up under me, or the youth, I'm partly responsible for that. So I try to correct and do my part, I love my people, most of them, love me in return or whatever they do, but it's not even about that. It's about me seeing something in an individual that's younger that even they may not recognize or realize yet. But, via Facebook is a good platform. It's whatever you want to use it for. I've met some remarkable young women and men as well that have truly have a lot to offer. So it's just about growth and development. And it's a constant thing. So as we continue to build, we continue to speak, let's just do it on a basis of collectiveness, coming together for a cause. And at the same time, everyone retains their individuality. So it's not like, we need some people to be a certain way. The thing is, we need you to have the courage to be unique enough, the boldness to be you. I mean, everybody's not going to accept you. Everybody is not going to be your friend. As adults, that used to bother us as children. As adults, we know that. Everyone is not our friend. So, and you can even deal with people that are not friends. I was always told you can learn from a fool, if there's nothing else, and how not to be a fool. So, as we continue, let me bring in my co-host, the beautiful, wonderful, amazing Koshana Quady Jones, and let her add her insight to this. Go ahead.
Oh, that is so sweet. I am just so blown away by our last guest. He was amazing. And all of the callers who called in, the questions were beautiful. He left so much information. I really enjoyed his information on the superfoods also. So when we get back into it, I do want to talk about the importance of our nutrition and how it affects our mind. Because a part of that enlightenment is learning to be at peace with the animals on the earth. You know, I have a brother in my group called James Haggard and a sister named Kateria Knowles, and when I first met both of them, they were so serious about nutrition, and it really helped enlighten me even more on the importance of being at peace with the animals on our earth and not being the one that's slaughtering them and killing them, because when you see what's going on with them, you don't want to put that food in your mouth after they've been tortured and they have that energy and then you put it in your body. So just a shout to Chef Keating. I really, really enjoyed his last few minutes. It was truly amazing.
Yeah, and, you know, I didn't want to cut him off, but me and him had already had an in-depth conversation earlier, and he told me, you know, about his event today, and I just want to thank him, I mean, for taking the time. I mean, what does that tell you about someone who, within their business, I mean, their event, their weekend, someone that busy took the time to call in and share with our show. So, I mean,
right.
That's just amazing. I mean, hats off, big shots out to that brother. I mean, the love is overwhelming that we were receiving today. And without cutting you off, just let me tell you, we have another caller. So let's go straight to this caller. As a matter of fact, you welcome this caller. This caller's last one. We know this brother too, but this caller, we just want to introduce him as 4729, but you know who it is. Actually, it's Brother Greg. Brother Greg, what's the last 4729? You on the air with Superconscious Outlet?
Welcome, Brother Greg.
Hotep, how are we doing? I was calling in to offer my support. I've been listening in, and I'm loving what I'm hearing. I'm loving the building that's going on. And the part on the superfoods, I was just on the last part. I love that part as well. I'm loving what you all are doing, loving the energy that's coming off the show right now. Like I spoke with you the other day, Guy King Roderick, and told you I would be chiming in. As I was telling Goddess Koshana earlier, I would be chiming in. And I was calling to offer my support as I'm still listening. And as far as consciousness goes, I have been off and on in my life, very much so conscious of everything that's going on. When you all were just speaking about the foods and just the water and everything that's going on as far as how our consciousness is under attack. I've been very aware of this since a young child. So everything in which you are touching on right now is needed for our people to reiterate to our people who aren't conscious.
Right.
Right.
And you know what, Brother Greg? I mean, as we have conversed about on several occasions, see, the thing is, the reason why when you use the word come in and out, it's not so much that you come in and out, but as people, we need other people. This is. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not looking to be right. I need you. Okay. I need everyone, and this is why we want to surround ourselves with like minds, because this is our nature. I mean, we're herd animals. Okay. If you look at the other animals, they live in herds. Some live in massive herds. But when they're in these herds, just say, for example, the wildebeest. Let's just use the wildebeest for an example. Have you ever seen, on an African documentary or whatever, that Outback or, whatever nature TV, have you ever seen the numbers that these wildebeest move in? It is astounding. They move and they make a noise that intimidates everything around them, except for a couple of them, because now you got some lions and a couple of hyenas that's laying in the cut. They're going to be a meal when they catch one of them babies. You know what I mean? So when you look at the chain of nature, brother, this is why we think we go in and out, is because we're like, man, okay, I got it. I want to give it to this person. And sometimes we can't articulate as well. You know what I mean? So when you keep seeking, this is what you did, and it's so obvious because we're having this conversation today, so that's confirmation for me. But what happens is when you keep seeking, and then you start to come around like minds, and then the building is infinite. I mean, there's no limit. to how much one can build, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, brother, listen, first of all, let me just tell you this. I'm so pleased, humbled, delighted, excited to have you as a part of my life experience.
Yeah.
Check this out. Now that I got you, I ain't never letting you go. So, you with me till we part playing in this round, and I'll catch you in the next one when we leave this one. I promise you that, my brother.
I'm glad I'm with good company. I'm glad I'm with the most divine company. As you know, our family is very much so awakened, our global awakened family. And as we continue to send off our love vibration, I love how our family is drawing in more people of conscious mind.
Man. It is amazing. I give thanks to our ancestors and all that is a part of what's happening. This family has grown and it's become such a beautiful experience. And it's transformed into this radio show and other opportunities coming for all of us. So I give thanks for all of that. I do have a question for you, though, Brother Greg. You said that you realized these certain understandings as a child. There was a thing specific that triggered it as a child, or you just kind of, because I know as kids we're more in tune with a lot, and we kind of move away from it as we become adults. So was there anything specific in your childhood that triggered it for you?
Well, to be honest with you, I grew up Christian background. I grew up in the church, but I always had questions of the church. I had questions of the Bible. I had questions at an early age. As far as I think I was probably as young as maybe 5, 6 years old. You know, wanting to know why things were how they were and set up in the Bible. And when I didn't get answers, the interesting thing is that answers came to me in my dreams. I would have very vivid dreams of different. When you're a child, they will call them fantasies or your imagination. As I grew older, I realized that these weren't my fantasies or my imaginations, but these were alternate dimensions. These were alternate places. Places my energy and my soul had probably been before, and I could experience it a lot better when I was a younger child. And then the more as I grew up, and like I said, the way this world is set up now, they are purposely trying to down our vibrations through food and drink and the chemtrails and things of this nature. So I don't know if I got caught up in the mix of some of that, but I lost a lot of my dream state. For years, I couldn't even dream. And as I became more conscious, as if the more I broke away from the church and I broke away from the mode, as you would say, as my dream state started to come back, my imagination, my intuition, everything started to become more heightened.
Wow.
Wow.
Hello? Okay.
You breaking up, Greg. Hey, listen, brother God Warrior. Let me just say, because I am the host. I have to keep order. In all humbleness, we have to bring in this next caller right now. But listen, let me just convey to you how much we appreciate you, and you know, Shoshana knows that when we get to the point where we're at, we're aware of this one consciousness, because there's many different levels. But we know when I speak of the one consciousness, I'm speaking about the creator of it all, and that falls under many different names for many different people. So we know we're connected. We're going to continue to build. But just let me just thank you again in all humbleness, brother. I appreciate you. I respect you. I admire you for taking the courage to call in and to share your story with us. And hey, Hotep, brother, we love you.
Hotep. I love both of y'all.
Love you.
Peace.
Oh, okay, Koshana. Let's bring in another caller. I think we have on the phone with us right now. We have on a brother I know from a couple of the groups. I've talked to this brother also on the telephone a few times. He normally has some good information, in all honesty. Let's bring this brother on. Brother Stephen Moultrie, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Peace.
Okay, go ahead. How you doing today, brother?
I'm fine. I'm great. You were talking about are you really conscious? I know Keely spoke on great information. The thing we want to say, when you're looking at someone that's conscious, you have to also look at, if you could step away from all religions, all ways of life, and look at each individually, you'll understand how common they are. Understand that, to step away from them, you become more spiritual. So you're not just, your spirituality is not restricted. But at the same time, you don't step on anybody's toes, and you don't defile or upset your spiritual walk either. My thing is, you're more basically in tune. And once we as black people understand that we are very much in tune with nature, so when you understand you are in tune with nature with your melanin, you understand that eating wholesome, healthy, green leafy vegetables, fruits, no meats, none of that other stuff, you understand that that food has melanin just as much as you do and similar to you. So that's why it is in tune with you, and you're more in tune with yourself when you eat healthy. So that's the reason. That's another reason why. Another thing I'd say is also, when you are conscious and truly conscious, you stay away from TV and media. In other words, you can watch it, but you don't need it. You don't need it to. You don't need it to dictate your life. You don't need black images. This is an example. You don't need black images to explain who you are or to make you feel proud of who you are, because in everything that's on TV right now talks about you, talks against you, is about you in a subliminal, unconscious level. Everything. And I usually mention this, and Roderick knows, I put this on Facebook all day, every day. When we're about to approach St. Patrick's Day, I'm gonna be short. When you deal with St. Patrick's Day, people don't understand that St. Patrick's Day was about the celebration of getting rid of St. Patrick driving away the Druids, or the Snake people, as they will, and that's all in ancient Kemet, Egypt.
Whoa.
So to make a long story short, they're dealing with the Druids, driving away the Druids, the Snake people. So what happens is, when you're dealing with the Snake people, you understand we use the snakes, and we have it on, the Kundalini. I forgot, I'm messing up names, but you know what I'm talking about. The snake on the head.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the nigga.
But here's the thing that gets you. You already knew about white people driving away snake people from G.I. Joe. What was G.I. Joe, the American hero? Understand, Joe fights Cobra Commander, the Snake people, Serpentor. Come on now, that's those are things you see that on TV.
Wow.
Right. You're right, Stephen. And just so we know, that's so we don't go too far off topic though. But you're right, and I just want to let you know that. See, this is what I was mentioning earlier, and I did a whole post this one day this week. I did a whole post on television and success and how successful we were as a people before television. But let's get away from putting the responsibility on anybody other than ourselves. Because now when you become awake, that's something that you have to do for yourself. When you become awake, you no longer have the need to place blame. So let's just be careful on that. I mean, I'm trying to do it myself. Because like I said, I love my people first and foremost before I love any other people. And anyone who knows me knows that. They know that because I live what I speak. Nowhere have you ever heard me say, oh, yeah, man, I'm this perfect dude, follow my example. My whole thing is get people to come back into themselves and be themselves. You know what I mean? And once you do that, you start to elevate in a natural process. So that's the only thing I want to add to your input, Stephen, is that, like we had a conversation before, we're not going to fault white people because no one is at your head, with a gun telling you to watch television. And if you want to do it, there's programming that have some benefit. You know what I mean? So it's about being aware. It's about being able to discern. It's about knowing how to watch TV if you choose to watch TV. The thing is with us, we've been so bombarded with television is that we take it to have literal meaning. I mean, and this has been done in tests before I was a child. You know, when I was a child, they redid this same test, and you know, they asked children, you know, black children, they asked white children, if you get sick, what should you do? You know what I mean? And you would be surprised. I will try to post some of that information on there. They had asked one question: was Superman real? And the black child said yes, and the white child said no. It's fiction. So this comes from just placing our children in front of the TV. Like, here, y'all go in a room and watch TV. You know, sit down and watch TV. So we need to take responsibility for ourselves. And I'm just so at this point. Let's quit placing the blame game. Let's build. Let's continue to be positive and positive upon positive, and we can do it. We can do it. It's inevitable. We've done it throughout the world, and we can do it again. I just wanted to add that to you, brother, and also want to thank you for calling in. If there's anything else you want to go ahead and say, go ahead. Then we're going to wrap up. There's some things that me and Koshana need to cover as we're approaching our final half hour of the show. But again, Stephen, thank you for calling, man. If you want to finish your statement, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say, and I agree with you 100%. Yeah, and that's the one thing, the ultimate, well, not one, but one of the very good steps on consciousness. We should avoid distractions, and we should also avoid blaming people. I'm at the point where I'm not blaming white people for stuff. I don't want to get in confrontation with them. I don't think none of us should. We should focus on ourselves and building and uniting one another and understand that that's what it should be about. Always. And
exactly.
That's what makes us more spiritual, lightning, unifying people. And that's what we should do. And that should be our goal. And that's when you'll know when someone's really conscious.
Right.
Or versus someone who plays conscious just to get likes on Facebook. So
there you go. There you go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that one. That's a good point. Hey, Stephen, listen, man. Look, we appreciate you for calling in. Super Conscious Outlet vibing with us. Thank you for calling, brother. You know what I'm saying? Again, calling. Probably going to have you as a guest at some point, and really, really let you get your message out there, because you have a good message, and it needs to be heard, and this is the platform for you to utilize. So be prepared. You know, when you get that phone call, like, hey, Stephen, you want to guest this week? Maybe even call. So just keep that in mind, brother. Hotep, blessings, may peace, you know, and wisdom surround you all the days of your life. Man, thank you for calling. We're so delighted to have you.
Great. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Okay, Koshana. So now it's me and you, Koshana Quady Jones and Roderick Jarrow, and our listeners. And let's just again. I mean, I'm so delighted that people are calling in and listening to us. And again, it's just confirmation that you know, we're on the right path. And the thing is, you know, let's just continue to build each other. I mean, we are going to hit rough spots, but the thing is, you know, let's just have enough courage, you know what I mean, to reach out to each other. And you know, and I don't necessarily, you know, agree with certain words that we've been indoctrinated with, like, oh, you gotta forgive. I mean, I don't even really go into depth with that. I'm to the place now where I can overlook, you know what I mean, confrontation, because we're going to have confrontation. But what I won't get involved in is I will not get involved in conflict. I will not get in. If I get into conflict, then the next step I'm going to take it to is like, okay, now this is a challenge. And now I've already told myself that I can't lose. So the only thing for me to do in a conflict is pursue annihilation. And I'm not at that stage. I don't think none of us are, or none of us should be. At some point, if it comes to that, then so be it. It is what it is. But for the most part, let's just talk about what are the things that we see, you know, Rod and Koshana. What are the things that we see in us and our people that are just true signs that we are not as conscious as we should be, or we claim to be? How about that? What do you think about that?
A couple of things. What you said earlier, though, I want to touch on that real quickly. What you spoke on with one of our callers, I believe it was Brother Greg, about people needing each other. That to me is profound, especially when you mention like minds coming together. But even those who are not of like minds, we need to still be a reflection for them. We need to be an idea. So, because a lot of people want to come into this, but they don't know how. And but as far as what I noticed, we need to circulate our money amongst each other. I think you guys touched on that earlier, and I thought that was a key to this awakening. When you really care about seeing your brother and sister prosper, when they call you up and they say, hey, I have this business, I'm selling T-shirts, or I'm selling, and instead of you going to Walmart and buying the T-shirt from Walmart, you actually call up one of your brothers and you buy a T-shirt from him, or you buy a shirt from your sisters. I've learned that, and it's something that you must practice, because I don't know where the programming came from, but we completely stopped shopping black. We just just stopped doing that, and it's almost weird, because I've seen people, and this is just a story, I kind of laugh at it, but I have classes, and I've seen people say, I'll take a sister somewhere and we'll look at, maybe some African clothing. And I've heard them literally say, well, I can just make that. And I look at them and I say, well, when you go to Burger King and you buy a burger, do you say, well, I can just go make that? No, you buy it because of that Burger King. Right, we can just make that, but you buy it anyways. But when it comes to our own products, we try to figure out how we could just make it. And so that's something that we do as a people. We have to get into that. We have to start to support our people first. When you get paid, make sure your money at least goes around the community at least one time. At least find someone, as soon as you get your first dollar in your pocket and you're itching to spend it, find someone of your own background, of your own color, of your own race to support. And immediately when someone tells me, oh, I have this, I try to support it. Immediately. That's one of the practices I've kicked in, and that has shifted my consciousness. It's not only become a practice, it's become a natural state of being. Now, and I literally, and what we're doing now as far as this conscious movement amongst our own people, a lot of the things that we really need, you're not going to find it anywhere else. You're going to have to come to your people for it. A lot of the stylish medallions that we like and the natural foods, I can't find those things everywhere anymore. I can't find herbs anymore. So I go down, one of the brothers mentioned earlier, I have to go down to Leimert Park to get my shea butter,
Right.
and things like that. So that to me is key. Support each other. Support each other. Don't talk about it, but really put your money where your mouth is and support each other's businesses any way you can. And you challenge yourself every paycheck and ask yourself, how many African people have I supported this month? Exactly. And if that number is 0, you have to ask yourself, are you truly conscious?
And on that note, Koshana, that is so true and so profound, because the thing is, a lot of these things, if you have a little area, there's technology that's over, just say, 12,000 years old. You can grow certain herbs and vegetables. You can grow certain foods in an apartment. I mean, there's things with what they have, this technology called a green wall, where you can actually grow things on your wall. And me and the brother Devon Allen are talking about that. There's aquaponic farming, where you can grow stuff in a limited space. And we need to just get into this stuff, growing what you grow in exchange, getting back to who we are, and quit to seek trying to, outdoing each other in materialism. I mean, it's like, oh, you got these shoes, I got to get some better shoes. You got this car, I got to get a better car. Then we want to ride around and show off, and well, look at his car. That we done that already. That's old. I mean,
right.
Are we gonna keep on just being the same old reproducers, or are we gonna just, go ahead and ascend to the next level? And on that note, Koshana, we have a caller that we need to bring in, and caller with the last 4 of 7218. You're on the air with the Super Conscious Outlet.
Hey, Roderick, what's going on? This is your brother Marquise. What's going on?
Peace, brother. Hotep, how you doing, my brother?
Hotep, I'm just enjoying the show right now with these wonderful, amazing topics right now, and I just want to mention about TV and how the television affects us mentally and psychologically, and I posted a status on my Facebook page, and I quote, everything you see on TV is propaganda. So every time you watch the Tell Lies and Vision box, you are being programmed. They're feeding lies to you to make you believe them to control your mind. So basically, every time when we watch the TV, we are automatically being droned.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like everything we watch on TV, we take it too seriously.
Right.
Exactly, Marquis. That is our downfall, as I mentioned earlier. I mean, pre-TV, we had, a thriving community such as Black Wall Street, but that wasn't just it. That was like the epicenter, so to speak, of blacks thriving and having their own businesses, having their own banks, having their own mortgage and loan companies, being owners of land, things like that. But that was throughout. That was throughout. So I mean, we had those cities duplicated and reduplicated. I mean, they had one in Northern California where it was an all black. I mean, completely founded everything, which was Allensworth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so, we have to just get back to who we are. I mean, it's so quick for us to hate each other and point out the flaws in each other, but yet and still every day we'll get up and go to work for our oppressor with a happy attitude. But when one of us say something to each other that we may not agree with, the first thing is, well, F you, or, you this and you that, and you need to do this, you need to do that. But we're not saying that when we go on to work, and they treat us like whatever they need us to do, and then we just obligingly do it. So it's about finding that self-love again, because once you come into grips with who you are, you're going to realize that you're not going to have so many issues with other people that look like you, because your focus is building on yourself and then trying to be a stronger reflection of what you are in order to build them instead of falling into the same thing with them. Now, we all do it sometimes. I mean, slippingly or jokingly. I mean, we're so fragile that we're easily offended. And the one thing about improvement, you have to have, we have to have tougher skin and quit being so, I mean, as soon as this person says something, I mean, just like we grew up with all that stuff, about your mama jokes and all that, and we took that way too far. So many things we took way too far that we need to just get back to some simple concepts. I mean, Marquise, brother, you on point, and me and you converse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I mean, and we continue to build. So this is the whole thing, man. It's about building a network as I have done. I don't look for pats on the back or when I'm acknowledged. Well, quite naturally, everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody wants to say good job. I mean, I think that's in us as people. I don't know a person that I've come across who doesn't appreciate a compliment or who isn't inspired by a compliment. So even just like the information that you share on Facebook, hey, Facebook can be a great platform for however you choose to use it. If you want to build and learn, you can. And it's all about building, learning, teaching. It goes back to simple things. It takes a village. You know what I mean? It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to support a village. So, we appreciate you though, Marquise. We really do, man. I know we do. We really appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for letting me say what I had to say about dealing with a propaganda issue and how we are affected by it.
Yes, sir. Anytime you have anything you want to say, again, this is your platform. I'm just a host because this is just a name that you give to somebody who's doing what we're doing. But at the end of the day, I'm just Rob, brother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this ain't nothing about going to my head. This is something I'm doing for myself, for my people, out of who I am. So this was an opportunity to say, well, what can I do? What can I do to try to add and enlighten to improve my people? So this is just a message that I'm using, and this came to me just by sending out mental wave links. You know what I'm saying? Connecting with the people that I mentioned earlier that I can't mention enough. Again, Jay Allens and Raya, Liz Rebecca, Shoshana, Brother, yeah, Michaela Renee.
Yes. Michaela.
Man, Michaela, right?
Yes,
right,
Queen Goddess Mama Michaela.
Yeah, Queen Goddess Mama worked for me, but Queen Goddess Mama Michaela. Yeah, and then a few other people. You know what I mean? I can't mention everybody's name right now, but you know, any time, brother, you're welcome here. You know.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'll keep on listening.
All right. Listen, we have another caller, Kushana, right now.
Cool.
Oh my goodness, why does brother call right now? Ladies and gentlemen, please, as I do this in my most humbleness, I mean, this is a brother that I laugh with, I share with, I build with, and I'm growing with, you know. And there's no age limits, there's no difference, there's no one above the other. Please welcome my I want to say mentor in a way, because he is. You know, he is. Truthfully speaking, he is my mentor. So, yes, the brother I truly build with. Let's welcome Jay Allen to the call. Jay Allen, you're on the air with Super Conscious Outlet.
Hey, man, stop all that, man.
Welcome, Jay Allen.
Now, you got me the other day on one of the feeds. You got me the other day, so I had to get you back. How you doing, brother?
Okay. Man, I'm great, man. I'm great. I just wanted to call in and chime in on the topic. You guys did a really great job tonight. Had a lot of good calls and a lot of good feedback. But what I want to say on the topic is that you know, a lot of times in the conscious community, we find that a lot of brothers and sisters, you know, it's a lot of judging going on, and a lot of people, they judge people. A lot of people are very, you know, some people can come off harsh and things like that. But the thing about it is, like, it's not about anybody, you know, telling you, you know, well, you're conscious or you're not conscious. The thing about it is you have to be real with yourself. You know what I mean? So that's the person needs to ask that question to themselves, like, am I really conscious? You know, and keep in mind, we all have something that we're struggling with, all of us. But at the same time, if you continue to do something that you know is not right for you, or that you know is not, you know, you shouldn't you have no business doing, then, like I said, there comes a point in time where you have to be real with yourself, and that's hard for a lot of people to do, okay? Right. So the thing about it is, like I said, is going inside yourself and being real with yourself and asking yourself that question. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's all I had to say, man.
Okay, well, listen, man, check this out. On that same note, I mean, I remember the post you did yesterday about the chemical element, and when, later on tonight, tomorrow, whenever, you know, we do this so much, but I want to build with you about the chromosomes and how did it come about that we all have 23 chromosomes, but it took 46 chromosomes to create us. That's amazing, and we're going to go ahead and do some study on that and bring that up on the topic one day. Hey, man, listen, man, Jay Allen, you know, we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I keep it 100, you know what I mean, all the time. Matter of fact, let me just stop that. I can't take it back. It's out there. I'm just Rod.
Hey, you know what, man? I'm just Jay, man. You said a lot of times that, you know, you wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for me. But let me tell you, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for a person, and that's Liz Rebecca Taylor. You know, when we first started this, she really put a lot of faith and belief in me, and she felt I needed to be heard. So I just want to throw that out there and give somebody. I want to pass on the blessing and give that to somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's why I said that's why I've been mentioning her and everybody else, because like I said, when I came into this, you guys was already doing it, but I mean I was so seeking my people, and again it's confirmed. You know, all the names I've mentioned, and there's so many more names that I don't have time to mention.
Right.
All of it's been confirmed because I've been doing this, you know, for years, man, and it's finally coming together. So, I mean, a lot of times, like I said, people are going to see me and like, oh, that dude is cocky, or you come off, you know, whatever. But I mean, hey, that's just me because I mean it's confirmed now, and I know the greatness that's in my people. And
you know what? I'm gonna tell you. Let me just stop you real quick. One thing I can say is, like, you know, sometimes us people that are very passionate, you know, our passion can be mistaken. But when you know how great that your people can be, and you feel like you know, your people are not living up to their full potential, then it's frustrating. you know. But all it is a passion, and sometimes it can be mistaken for being rude or you know, or anything like that. But like I said, it's just a passion, and when we know how great our people can be, the greatness within them, then we want to push it to the next level.
Exactly. Hey, Jay, man, thank you so much for calling.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, guys. You guys are doing a great job. Bless you.
We appreciate
Thank you, Jay.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Okay, Queen Goddess Krishana, we have another caller. We have a caller right now. We're going to go ahead and get to it as we're winding down, coming to, to the pretty much end of the show for this week. But anyway, we got a caller with the last 40407. You're on the air with the Super Conscious Outlet.
Hello. How are you today, Jedi King? And hello to our beautiful comedic goddess there. This is my first time listening to your show.
How are you?
I'm delighted that I was just scrolling or trolling Facebook, as some of us do, and I happened to see the post about the show tonight. And at this very moment, the love energy that is radiating through this entire program, the frequency, is sending me beyond consciousness at this point. I just wanted to tell you that you are on point with your message. Before Kemet, this last 25,920-year cycle, Kemet, as we know it or remember it, it is one of many, 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 many states of divine consciousness that we have traveled in and upon and we have been a part of. Yes. We're all created by the highest thoughts of love. We are all emanations, and we create and create and create and create and create. We each are the sum of the all and the all of the sum. If you look at the word Roman, you will see the word more. You will also see the word man. You have to understand there is no separation between God and man and God. You are God and God is you. When you understand that we all created these experiences, these expansions of our consciousness in and out, we transcend race. We transcend gender. We transcend wealth, power, greed, all of it, because we are spirit. This is why the word says that, I am no respecter of persons. I am a divine messenger of the Creator. It is my great delight to speak with each of you under the sound of my voice right now. And I come right now to give you a special blessing that is coming straight from the throne of grace. And at this very moment, my hair feels like it's on fire. That's how much holy fire is being put right now into this vibration. It's great to appreciate Kemet. It's great that we want to stay within our community, Black, African American, all of those of us that are melanated. You have to understand the ones who are less melanated came from us, through us, by us, and for us. Their mistakes and their ignorance are a direct reflection of us and our forgetfulness. When we come to this plane, in this dimension, the density here, it has something to do with the atmosphere that causes us to go into a great spiritual amnesia. As we are God and God is us, and we continue to create these expansions and experiences, we've gotten so far from our point of origin that we all forgot that we're all emanations of the one. So, with that said, I want to kind of clarify something, because I met you in that group. I'm about 1,000 groups on Facebook, and I don't participate so much anymore. I see so much criticism about the Hebrews and the Romans and the Europeans, and everybody stole from everybody. Guess what? We stole from ourselves. We encoded information in Scripture. We encoded information in all the holy texts that we've written age after age after age. We are the same souls. We regenerate. The word Genesis means of Isis. If you understand Isis is the culmination of the masculine and the feminine. Now, your understanding is, now when you get that understanding, if you are a person, you don't have to be a Christian to look in the Bible. You don't have to be a church goer. You can get a Bible any place. They're free at hotel rooms. You can rip them off all day long. Let me tell you what it says there. It tells you that Yahshua, the Christed one, he says, verily, verily, I will say unto you, all who know me and all who have followed me, you shall be with me again at the regeneration. Welcome to the regeneration. Welcome to the reincarnation. of the Christed One.
Wow.
We all are stars. We are all divine beings. There is none greater than the other. There's none weaker. There's none lesser. We all have to travel in love, because let me tell you something, divine from the throne, there are 444 binary codes in each nuclei that creates the stem cells that generate the blood cells that created each of you, me, all of us on this planet. We all are made up from various emanations all across this entire galaxy. Some people have to eat meat because of their extraterrestrial makeup, if you want to call it that. Some people have to have a plant-based diet. We got to stop judging each other for all this stuff. We've got to stop judging the rappers and the dancers and the singers and all the artists and stuff like that. Because guess what? They aren't a reflection of us. We aren't a reflection of them. They are a reflection of us. What they're trying to do. I'm going to give you a quick example. I'm going to hang up. Upgrade You by Jay-Z and Beyonce. All day long, people trash them. One, you're giving spiritual power away to them. Every time you put her name in your mouth and his name in your mouth, you're giving them power. And they already understand it doesn't matter if it's negative energy. They convert it to love and they convert it to power. And that's how they travel on such a high spiritual plane. Upgrade You is letting you know there is no king without a queen. Do you understand? There is no king. There is no savior in any religious text ever, any scripture that did not get through this planet unless he come through the womb man. Do you understand that? Now we are going to equality. This feminine goddess and divine feminine, yes, we are bringing in the feminine energy. We are pulling it up. We are bringing the planet up. But this time we will go back to what we knew in Kemet. We are all equal. This is why you have just as many queen pharaohs as you do have pharaohs. I want to get this message out. I want you all to understand you are all each an emanation of love. You don't have to compete. Every one of you is a Christ child. Every one of you is a Messiah. Every one of you came back here because someone you love. That's all.
Queen Goddess, because we're wrapping up and coming to the end of the show. Listen,
go ahead.
What I want you to do, wait. Before you go, I want you to just mention your name. I want you to inbox me after this call, as we've been conversing earlier today. I mean, if you heard when I came on, I simply understood it, and like I said, during my studies, I've come that to be Christ-like is to ascend in a mental state. So I want to talk with you about that and a few other topics. But just right now, just give us your name real quick, because I mean, again, we're out of time. And we appreciate you so much. I mean, I don't even thank you to the extent that I want to thank you. But I'm so humbled by you calling in. I really appreciate you, Queen Goddess. I mean, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in.
Give thanks.
But make sure that we exchange numbers and we're in contact in the very, very near future.
Oh, that's no problem. And my name is Cheryl. On my Facebook page, I go by Beloved Wine, BELOVEDWINE, and Cheryl Beloved Wine. My last name is Faison. Sometimes you see me by my name is Isis. Yes. Bless each of you. Divine love to each of you.
Yeah, we thank you so much. I mean, again, we're having no conversation. People, I hope you heard that and paid attention to this woman, because that's just pretty much on point. We kind of went off topic, but never again. Really, there is no uniformity here. It's just all truth and all awakening. So on that note, sister, we thank you so much, and we will be in contact with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Love is always the topic. Good night.
Love you.
Okay, people. As we're wrapping it up, Coach Shana, we're coming to the end right now. Wow, we got to give another shout out to Zemraya, our engineer. Zemraya Davis, we must thank her. And again, to all the people at Universal Radio, listen, if I run out of time and I don't get everybody's show, but on Monday nights we got Jay Allen's show. On Wednesdays we have Martin and Lamar. On tomorrow it's going to be Zemraya and Tiffany Gibson. They'll be doing their show. Same number of people calling this number. I'll be posting on Facebook with all the updates. Again, forgive us for overrunning our time. I mean, I'm going to let my co-host say part of, as we say, our parting goodbyes. I'm overwhelmed. Right now, Kashana. I mean, go ahead, take the reins, sweetheart. I love you. I mean, let's bring it to a close. I don't know what. I mean, that was fire right there. That was fire. I was not expecting that. I don't know what to do. So
that was channeled straight from the source, and we give thanks to all of our callers. That message was powerful. It sent chill bumps all through my body. So tonight has been another enlightening and wonderful night with the whole family. And like you said earlier, this is all of our platform, so always feel free to come share that wonderful energy, because now I'm going to be elevated for all hours tonight. So I give thanks to all of our callers. We love you, Hetepu, and continue on your journey to self. And we are on our way to the place that we've all been wanting to go to. It's a confirmation. We are all confirming it for each other.
Hey, we got less than a minute left. Join us here next week, people. Same number as we go in on another topic, and it's going to be collective consciousness. So we're going to talk about now. We got that out the way. How can we build? What can we do collectively as a people? Hey, listen, peace and Hotep. Let's go. I mean, we're winding down. You know, thank you again to my engineers and Ryan Davis, Jay Allen, Martin Brown, Liz Rebecca Taylor, Tiffany Gibson, Lamar Williams, Koshana Jones, to all of us at Universal Radio. People log into Universal Radio. I'll be sending the links out. Hotep, peace and blessings, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.